dear students, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel, that's Akifa's Commerce Classes. So as we know that the Goa boards are starting from the month of April, and especially for commerce students, one of the subjects that they worry about is accounts. So as we know that for the syllabus we have the balance sheet, the profit and loss account, shares and debentures. So I have covered all these major topics in general. So what was left for me to cover was about the theory part. Now this is one part which most of the students they neglect, or they think that it is not that important. In accounts the theory is always important, and the theory is not something that is very difficult. If you know to solve a problem on balance sheet, for example, then you will automatically know the theory of it. So I would say that please do not neglect your theory part. We know that your theory will comprise somewhere 6 to 8 marks. So in general, if you know to solve the entire sum on shares, debentures, profit and loss account or balance sheet, then this will also be easier for all of you. So what I have done is I have divided the total important questions according to me into 5 to 6 parts. So in my capacity, what I have done is I have just jotted down all the important questions that I feel are important, and I will make separate videos on all of them. So this is the part 1. I have made in total 5 parts till now, and if I find something more important then I may add into this series. But for now I have total 5 parts. So starting from today I will be uploading one video every day for the next 5 days on the important theory questions on accounts. First we have is, what are the major heads in the equities and liabilities part of the balance sheet as per schedule 3? Now this question asks us about what are the major heads that come under equities and liabilities. So we know that under equities and liabilities the first head is shareholders fund, then share application money pending allotment, then non-current liabilities and current liabilities. So these are the major heads. Under this we have the subheads, but this question is only asking us about the major heads. So they are shareholders fund, share application money pending allotment, non-current liabilities and current liabilities. Moving on to the next question, under which major head will the following be shown? Share capital and money received against share warrant. So share capital and money received against share warrant, they come under shareholders fund. We start with shareholders fund, share capital and then money received against share warrant in the balance sheet. Next we have, list any 5 items that come under reserves and surplus. So you may get a question as such wherein you are asked to just name some items that come under so and so heading. So in this question we are asked about reserves and surplus. So we have capital reserve, capital redemption reserve, security premium reserve, debenture redemption reserve and revaluation reserve. Next we move on to question number 4. Name any 3 items that come under long-term borrowings. So first is debentures, then loans and then public deposits. The next question we have, under which head and how are the following items in balance sheet of a company under schedule 3 shown? First is calls in areas. Now we are just given calls in areas and then we are supposed to write under which head it comes and where it is shown in the balance sheet. So we have calls in areas, so it is shown under shareholders fund and it is shown as a deduction from subscribed capital. Okay. Next we have share application money pending allotment. So where does share application money pending allotment comes? It comes as a separate line between equities and liabilities and non-current liabilities. It comes in between the two. Next we have unpaid dividend. Where do we record unpaid dividend? Unpaid dividend is other current liability and the major head under which it is recorded is current liabilities. Next is, state any 2 items that are included under the following. So under long-term borrowings 2 items are debentures and public deposit. Under other current liabilities we have interest accrued but not due on borrowings and unpaid dividend. And third, short-term borrowings we have bank overdraft and loan repayable on demand. Students, in this video I am not going in detail by explaining to all of you what does so and so particular meaning is, or what do you mean by public deposit or unpaid dividend and so on, because I have already done this when I was explaining the pro forma of balance sheet. when I was explaining the pro forma of balance sheet. So now here we are just discussing the theory part. So let's move on to the next question. Under which main head and subhead of equities and liabilities part of the balance sheet the following items are classified? So one of the most important thing for theory questions is that read the question twice. You should understand what the question is asking you for. So in this question we need to identify the main head as well as the subhead under which the following items appear. So first is bond. So the main head under which it appears is non-current liability and the subhead is long-term borrowings. Second is debentures. It comes under non-current liabilities and again the subhead is long-term borrowings. Third is public deposit. The major head is non-current liability and the subhead is long-term borrowings. Next we have capital redemption reserve. So this comes under shareholders fund and the subhead under which it's recorded is reserves and surplus. Next is forfeited shares account. It comes under shareholders fund and the subhead is share capital. Next is sundry creditors. It comes under current liabilities and the subhead is trade payables. And the last one is interest accrued but not due on debenture. So the major head is current liabilities and the subhead is other current liabilities. Next we have question number 8. Classify the following items under major head and subhead in the balance sheet of the company as per schedule 3. So here also we have certain items and we have to classify it under major head and subhead. First is capital work in progress. It comes under non-current asset and the subhead is fixed asset capital work in progress. Next is provision for warranties. It comes under non-current assets and the subhead is long-term provisions. Third is income received in advance. The major head is current liability and the subhead is other current liability. Last is capital advance. The major head is non-current asset and the subhead is long-term loans and advances. Moving on to the question number 9. It says under which head the following items are classified under the asset side of the balance sheet. First we have loose tools. It comes under current asset. Next we have bills receivable. That also comes under current asset. And advances recovered in cash and sundry debtors. It also comes under current asset. Now student, this question only asked us about under which head the following items appear. It did not ask us about the subhead. So you have to first understand the question and then answer it. Alright, let's move on to the next question. Here we have the last question, that is under which major head and subhead of the assets part of the balance sheet the following items are shown. First is intangible asset. So the major head for this is non-current asset and the subhead is fixed asset. Similarly for intangible assets also the head is non-current asset and it is recorded under fixed asset. Next we have investment, which is for a period of more than 12 months. So it comes under the major head non-current asset and the subhead is non-current investment. Similarly we have deferred tax asset. It is shown under the major head non-current asset and the subhead is deferred tax asset. Next we have question 5, that is stores and spares. It comes under current asset and subhead is inventories. Similarly, sixth is loose tools. It comes under the major head current asset and the subhead is inventories. So this was all for today's session. In this session we discussed about the important theory questions for accounts, wherein we discussed about 10 important questions. So this was just one part, that is the part 1 of the important theory questions in accounts. I will be back with another video, that is part 2. Till then please refer to all your notes that are available to you. Read as many textbooks as you can and also try to memorize the balance sheet and the profit and loss account statement. Just write it down every day so that you do not forget it in the exam. So this was all for today's session. I hope that this video was helpful to all of you. If you like my today's session, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.